Foreman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 12 is already here, guys. I'll be looking at three big games of the week like usual, one being the Monday Nighter. It's a big one. Ravens at Chargers, the battle of the Harbaugh brothers. We'll also look at Rams versus Eagles and 49ers versus the Packers. SystemSportsCaptain.com or link.me/systemcaptain to become a client today. Learn how to beat the sports books long-term in multiple sports. Structured unit betting. Avoid the big parlays for the sucker bets. You know, I'm okay with 2-fight parlays, 2-team parlays have been very profitable for me. Anything more than that is what you call a sucker bet for the most part. NFL Week 11 recap. Let's do a recap of NFL Week 11. It was a nice week for myself and clients. 5-1. The only loss was a Geno Smith prop over in passing by 10 yards, by one throw. We were on the Steelers last week. Nice win there. Plus the points. Didn't take them on the money line, even though I did believe they had a shot to win it. I like the points better there with the Steelers. 8 of the last 9. The Steelers have won against the Ravens. Now, keep in mind, Lamar only played 5 of those, right? So they had backups, some weird situations in some of those games. Lamar missed a few of those games. But still, it's a definitely impressive stat for the Steelers there. You know, let's be honest, Ravens could have won that game, right? Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals, and Steelers did not score a touchdown. And they got a nice 5 kicks from Boswell. And, you know, Ravens defense looked a lot better, a lot improved. They did make a couple changes there. Roquan Smith went out late in that game, so that is going to be a concern, which I'll talk about here shortly. But Ravens' defense looked a lot better in that game, so that's good to see on their side. The offense just couldn't get going, though. We know the Steelers have a good defense, but you know, the Tucker missed field goals were huge. You can't make those mistakes on the road or turn the ball over. Also, a cash on a nice 2-team money line parlay, Rams and Packers. I got that at plus money. Packers were scared. Right? Had to come down to a block field goal with no time left on the clock. So we were able to get that. Rams won fairly easily against the Pats. Back-to-back weeks, we had block field goals to win the game. Pretty crazy. Don't see that a lot. Teaser cash for us as well. And podcast listeners, hopefully you did tail the teaser last week. 2-1 in the prop market. We were on Ridley over in receiving. That got over. And we did a rare 2-player prop anytime touchdown. Mixon and Montgomery plus 140. Nice price there. That hit fairly easily. Mixon scored 3 TDs, and his first TD was within 2 minutes of the game. So Mixon, what a season he is having. What a season Mixon is having for Houston. 20-9 player props on the year, guys. That has been the highlight so far this year, and it's been a profitable year in the NFL. The Chiefs lost, guys. How good is that to say? How good is that to say? Their winning streak and their unbeaten streak is over. I do have a long-term listener. Shout out to you. You know who you are. Big Chiefs fan. He's not too happy. And, you know, I did say the Bills had a shot to win the game. Bills had a shot to win this game and ruin it. I think it was a good spot for them, right? If the Chiefs were going to lose, it was going to be this game, and the Bills showed up. And you know, what a year the Bills are having. I'm first to admit I did not think the Bills would be this good this year. I thought they were going to take a step back due to the personnel they lost. Hey, guys are fitting in. They went out and got Cooper as well. But guys are just fitting well. Allen's having an MVP-type season. Defense playing a little better than expected as well. So, well-coached team over there. And, hats off to the Buffalo Bills. Keep in mind, before that KC record, the resume was a little bit spotty. When they played the good teams, they would lose. But, hey, they got the big win over the Chiefs. So, hats off to the Bills. Updated power rankings here, guys. Lions take the number 1 spot. I think they were going to do that any week now. Now they did, since the Chiefs have lost. Best team in the NFL right now, without a doubt. Bills take number 2, right? They beat the Chiefs. They got to move up. Chiefs will stay at 3. Steelers beat the Ravens. I had Ravens in my top 5, so Steelers get in there. And then the Eagles make the top 5 for the first time this year. Just outside of the top 5 is Ravens, Texans, Packers, and the Vikings. Let's hear from my friend Kristen before we get into
bettors
these
out there,
games.
Let's be honest, you probably need a little bit of help beating those books. System capping is a proven long-term winner against the sports betting market in multiple sports. He's built a worldwide clientele due to his high winning percentage over the years. Be sure to click the link on the bio down here to check out his profile, and you can also find out his resume, client comments, podcasts, and subscription opportunities. I'm going to be following him along too, so let's win some money together this season.
Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into it. Shop around, have multiple books, get the best prop number out there, the best line, the best total and spreads. So important to have multiple sports books and to shop around. 49ers at Packers. Packers -3 total, 46.5. We got a good one here, guys. 49ers who haven't lived up to expectations so far at just 5-5 on the year. Very tough to predict this team, guys. I've been staying away from them as of late. Very difficult team to predict right now. The Packers, who are 7-3, who are winning games, but they haven't looked great doing so, right? That showed last week against the Bears, just snuck out a win there. But it's a road game, tough to play in Chicago. Bears were desperate for a win there, but Packers were able to come back off the bye and win that game. But they just haven't looked like really good at any of the games, in my opinion. But they're still finding ways to win. That's the important part, right? Important part. 49ers, ugly loss versus Seattle. Last minute drive by Geno Smith. You can't lose that game at home when you're dominating Seattle as of late, right? Geno Smith as of late. You can't lose that game, guys. Head-to-head for these two, very even over the years. 6-4, last 10 for the 49ers. Nothing to consider here or look at. San Fran having just a weird season. If you look at their offensive and defensive stats, just looking from a stat standpoint, which is not what you just look at, but it's something I look at each game, stats versus stats, defense versus offense, you have to be doing that each week. It's not bad at all, right? It's not bad at all. It's top 10 in most stats on average on both sides of the ball, which is concerning. The issues here are, points allowed at over 22 a game, which is 17th in the NFL. That's not great. They're not getting to the QB as much as I thought they would as well with their personnel, right? 13th in the NFL. I think as a team that they need to get to the QB more. Injuries have been an issue, though. Let's be honest, guys. They haven't had a full team out there, I don't think, all year. Right, so that's an issue, right? Kittle missed last week. They're 0-2 without Kittle. Deebo Samuel in and out of the lineup always. Ayuk out for the season, long term. I don't know if it's the season, but he's out long term. CMC just got back. Hasn't looked himself as of yet since getting back. Purdy apparently got hurt yesterday or today it's Thursday when I do these videos, guys. I don't know. He's going to play, I'm sure. But he left practice, apparently. Watch Friday injury report. I'm sure he'll play, right? Obviously, that will be a big change here if he doesn't. But look out for that. Packers are top 10 in yards on offense on both pass and rushing. Yards allowed, yards for. Well-balanced attack. Well-balanced attack for the Packers. That's what I like about this offense. San Fran stats from yards, like I mentioned, top 10 as well on D, so it's going to be a nice battle here. The Packers offense versus the San Fran defense here. If we look at strength of schedule, though, this year, it's very important, guys, to look at who these teams beat. You have to go back and look. Oh, you see a nice 7-3 record, but who have they beat? It's very important when you're looking at and when you're handicapping a game. I'm going to give you guys a little tip here from the system. I look at multiple things, right? Multiple things I look at. This is one of them. Look at your opponents that they're beating, right? Packers wins over the Bears. On the road, it's a fairly good win, even though the Bears aren't playing great, right? They beat the Jags. Houston Texans, big win there, guys. Cardinals, solid win. Rams, solid win. Colts, pretty decent win. And Titans. So I wouldn't put up the fraud alert on the Packers. There's some good wins in there. And again, yes, I do agree you only could beat who's put in front of you. That's something always worth mentioning as well. So legit win there. I wouldn't say it's an inflated 7-win team here. I think the Packers are legit. 49ers, however, though, let's look at their wins, right? The Bucks, average team. I wouldn't say they're a good team. Cowboys, terrible this year. Seattle, average team too. I wouldn't say they're a good team. I'd just say they're, kind of in the middle. The Pats, terrible, and the Jets, terrible. So, resume advantage to the Packers here. You keep thinking each week 49ers will have a good week and bounce back and go on a winning streak. It just hasn't happened. It hasn't happened, guys. I don't like to handicap by, expecting them to turn it around or hoping they turn around, or on paper they have a good enough team to turn around. They're just not playing good enough right now. So it's very difficult for me to get to the 49ers here. Watch that Kittle report. Very important if he's out. Packers at home. It's going to be cold. 43 Fahrenheit. Chance of rain. That's going to favor the Packers as well. So, I would have to lean the Packers here. That 3 number is tough to get to because it's a important number, 3, right? You can maybe buy half. Looking at money line teaser market as well. But this one will make my client card. Definitely a good game. I'll be watching this one. Do believe it's at the 4 o'clock slot. I could be wrong, but definitely a game I will be tuning into and looking forward to. Can the 49ers get going and get on a little run here at the end of the season? Eagles -3 at Rams, total 49. Another good game here, guys. The Eagles who have been hot. I just got them into the power rankings, right? 5th. Winners of 6 straight, and their biggest win yet over the Washington. I couldn't get them in the power rankings. I couldn't really, call them for real, or they're one of the best teams in the NFL because their strength of schedule and who they're beating. Now, they beat a good team in Washington, so I do believe they are legit. Now, Washington obviously overachieving early in the year. I do think they're taking a little bit of a step back here, but it's still a good win either way. When I talk about the schedule, after they did beat Packers, but that was week 1 in Brazil. I can't really look at that too much. But overall, they're playing a lot better, right? And it's their defense that's been playing really well in the Eagles. Last year was terrible. This year, a lot better. And obviously, they have Barkley, who's just having an MVP-style season. They seem to be legit again, the Eagles. First in rushing yards and rushing attempts. 5th in total yards. 7th in total points. And it's their defense that's just been a surprise. 1st in total yards allowed, guys. 7th in rushing allowed. 8th in sacks, and 6th in points allowed at 17.9. Again, yes, some of it is due to the schedule. I get that. And I expect Rams to put some points up here. They have been as of late. But it's still impressive. Again, you can only beat who is in front of you. So that's something to keep in mind. Right? It's just a night and day difference. If I recall, I could be wrong. I think they were last in points allowed last year. 32nd or yards. One of the two. And their secondary was terrible. They got that rookie in who's been playing really well for him. I've seen some of his stats. Took away McLaren last week against Washington. I think Mitchell. He's been definitely playing well. But Rams, though, not going to be easy to stop against the pass. Obviously, they can run too, but their rushing numbers aren't great on the year because they've been throwing a lot. When you got Kupp, when you got Puka, you throw the ball. So it's going to be a good test there. Eagles secondary versus the Rams pass attack. From a stat standpoint, the Rams team doesn't look great if you just look at stats. That's why you don't just look at stats, right? But 23rd in total yards allowed, 22nd in points allowed at 23.9. This is on D, guys. Not great against QBs in the pass. They just haven't been getting... The one thing they have been doing is getting the QB. That's something I do have to mention. Highest pressure rate in the NFL at 41%. So if they can get the Hurts, slow them down a little bit, that will be key here for the Rams to hang around or maybe even win at home. Head-to-head Eagles, 6-1. 6-1 Eagles in head-to-head against these guys. Both teams have been putting up points as of late. Like I mentioned, Rams 26 in their last 3 of 4 games. And Eagles haven't scored less than 26 points since October 31st. Wouldn't be surprised if this one gets over, guys. I'm going to lean the Eagles here as well. Don't love that 3 number. They are on the road. Some would say, they might be due for a loss here. Yeah, not going to make my client card this game, but I'll definitely watch this game. Maybe lean the over here. You should expect some points with these two high-powered offenses as of late. Monday Nighter, guys. Monday Nighter Ravens -3 versus Chargers. Total 51. Fun one here. You know, the battle of the Harbaugh brothers head-to-head with these teams. It's been close as well, right? 6-4 in the last 10 games. 4-1 Ravens as of late. Ravens are coming off a tough road loss. I talked about it at the top here, right? Their D played a lot better. Some signs for encouragement from that D because it's been playing so bad, especially against the pass. It looked great. Didn't allow a touchdown in Pittsburgh last week. And, you know, Tucker's been the issue. He's lost 2 games for them this year. 2 games. He's not that best kicker anymore in the NFL, guys. Obviously, long term, yes, but this year he's not been good. So that's something to watch here in this game, which a game that could be close. It's in LA, so I think the kicking should be fine, right? I don't think there'll be an issue there. 3-3 on the road for the Ravens. That's an issue. Chargers have been good at home at 4-1. But let's do a fraud check. Fraud check alert. Fraud check alert on the Chargers. And check out their wins. Let's check out their wins, guys. You ready? You ready for this? Bengals, Titans, Browns, Saints, Broncos, Panthers, Raiders. Fraud alert. Ring the alarms, guys. Ring the alarms. They haven't beat a good team all year now. We could throw in the Broncos. I get it. I put them as a little bit above average team. A little bit above. Okay, so I'm going to say I'll put Broncos as pretty good. How about pretty good team? So they beat the Broncos. But when they played good teams, they lost. Cardinals is not a great team, but they're pretty good, right? Cardinals, they were playing well at that time. Chiefs and Steelers. That's their 3 losses. So keep this in mind, guys. This is an inflated record here. I'm not saying the Chargers are bad. I'm not saying they're a bad team. It's a little inflated, the record. Ravens have some notable wins, right? If you want to throw the Broncos in there, they destroyed the Broncos. They beat Buffalo and blew Buffalo out. Buffalo's, you know, top 3 power ranker right now. Washington, good team. And the Bucks when they were healthy. Resume advantage to the Ravens. This could be a battle, you know, high-powered Ravens offense versus a well-balanced Chargers defense. That's what we'll probably see here, right? They're allowing the least points per game at 14.5. Again, some of it's due to the schedule, but hey, 14.5 allowing, very impressive. You know, Ravens are scoring the most, so it's going to be a nice battle there. I think they're second now because the Lions took over after scoring at 51. Ravens D looked great last week. Can it carry over? Roquan Smith is questionable for this game. He is very important. Their linebacker depth is not great. Okay, and Roquan Smith is the captain of that defense. Watch that. If he doesn't play, downgrade to the Ravens, downgrade to the under. Okay? So watch that on Saturday. It's a Monday night game. Final injury report will be out Saturday. 4-game win streak for the Chargers. Ravens coming off a tough loss, right? You expect a little extra motivation here for the Ravens. Just that Roquan Smith has me a little bit concerned if he's not going to play. So watch that. I'm not pulling the trigger on anything on this game until I hear on Saturday. I believe, you know, the Ravens secondary is somewhat fixed. I'm not going to say completely, but they did change their starting safety, put Adarius Washington back there with Kyle Hamilton, so I like that. They added Tre'Davious White, who played actually really good in that Pittsburgh game, and you may see more of him. So I like that. He's a veteran guy. I do believe that secondary, I'm not going to say is completely fixed, but it seems like they found a recipe to make it better. Fun little storyline here. Battle some old teammates. Edwards and Dobbins at running back against the Ravens' #1 ranked rush defense. Oh, that's going to be fun. That is going to be fun, guys. I lean the under here and the Ravens in this one. Again, you have to hope for Roquan Smith playing. It's a big, I think it's a fairly big difference just because how he controls that defense, the captain out there, and their linebacker depth is not great. So that is going to be important here. Teaser market. Let's get into the teaser market for you guys. Hit one last week. Hopefully you did tail. We were on for clients Houston, Bengals, and Detroit. Detroit Lions. Don't be scared of that 6.5. Lions won by what, 40 or whatever it was? 30 points, easy hit there. Profitable year in the teaser market. Teaser market's a grind. I do it more for as a fun bet each week. You know, you can't just be betting teasers only. But if you can profit, I'm doing plus 120 teasers. 3 teams, 7 points. Right? They're not like minus 140 teasers with 2 teams, which is wild, right? You don't want to do that. Getting plus 120, if you're hitting it, if you have a profitable record at the end of the year in the teaser market, you're profiting. So keep that in mind, guys. This week, we will look at Texans at home. -1 over the Titans. Should just win the game, right? No concern there. And then you can take Ravens +4. You expect the game to be close, right? And Ravens to hang around there. Underdogs, no luck last week. We had the Bengals were close. I did lean Seattle as a big underdog. If you want to take a shot, I did mention it at +2. I think it was like +200 for Seattle to win that game out, or maybe a little less, +180. So there was some value there. Bengals were close. They should have won that game. Kicker forgot how to kick. You're going to have losses like that, right? Nothing you can really do about that. This week, the option looks like the Bears, Seahawks, 49ers, Rams, Chargers. Bears almost got the upset win last week versus the Packers. I believe they are alive here. However, that Vikings D scares me with Williams at QB. That's the only problem. But the spot's good, right? Back-to-back losses at home. Little home stint here for the Bears. Weather's not going to be great, even though it doesn't matter with the Vikings coming into town. So, I think the Bears are alive. Seahawks, after a big win back at home, are underdogs. Hey, not the best spot in the world, but, you're giving me Seattle underdogs here at home. I think it's a pretty good spot. 49ers, we talked about already. They have a shot to win on the road, especially if everyone's healthy. Rams, can't really get to. Due to how hot the Eagles are looking right now. But Rams could win that game. And then Chargers, I expect the Ravens to win outright, but they're an option as well. Like, if you bet all 5 of these, right, at plus money, can you go 3-2 and profit? For sure. For sure. And if the bigger one hits, you can go 2 and 3 and profit. But I don't know if what was the big one? Let me see here. What was the big one? Seattle Bears will be, yeah. So the bigger one would be this week 49ers. Yeah, and it's not that big, right? We don't have any big plus outrights this week. So, yeah, that will do it. That will do it for this week's video, guys. Check out the UFC video if you haven't already. Podcast, video, whatever you want to call it. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, appreciate you guys. Please rate and review the podcast. If you're on YouTube, please like it. Thumbs up. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this card.